And we are alive. And this time I'm super excited actually on my end to tell you good afternoon or almost good evening. Here we have 20 to 6 p.m. PST. This time I decided to change timings and see how the audience is interacting now, because it's not just about what we deliver and bring to the market, but how the audience interacts here. In fact, the mission here is very simple. The episode is called FutureBack. This is the series, and the mission is to bring you daily evidences directly from Silicon Valley. Now, daily evidences for whom? For those who are dealing with innovation. Regardless if you are in a corporation, in a global multinational, and you're dealing with corporation, what we have made it our mission with FutureBack is to bring you evidences that the future is not tomorrow. That's the reason why it's future back. But the future is today, and today we need to be more sensible. We need to pay attention to what's happening on a daily basis, because whatever is happening today on a daily basis is what's going to make the difference tomorrow. Meaning what? Well, very simple. If you say that you are busy with what you are doing, if you're saying you're busy with your project, you are busy with your current product, with your current KPIs, with your current OKRs, this is not enough. Actually, this just being busy might lead you in the wrong direction. Why? Because being busy means to be occupied and preoccupied with things that I have on the table that usually come from the past forward and not future back. But how much time are you allocating to build a new product, to serve a new target audience with a new expectations, and to build a new use case and business case around that? Well, that's what we do here. FutureBack brings you some daily evidences. And I want to already kick off things with some headlines. Japanese electronics giant NEC will purchase Swiss banking software developer Avaloq for 2.05 billion Swiss, roughly 2.2 billion US dollars. Very interesting. So Avaloq provides banking software mostly to private institutions and has a customer base in 30 countries. The company is known for its platform-based software as a service, or SaaS, and business process as a service, BPaaS, for wealth management. Well, NEC plans to acquire all 52,000 shares from Avaloq's parent company by April 2021. Well, here another interesting signal. NEC player, which is known or was born as also a provider of hardware, of chips, right? So in Japan, they're now jumping into the banking industry and creating basically here another incumbent, another player in the banking system, getting into this so much pressured industry. Now, if you are in a banking system, you don't even know no longer in which direction you will look. You look bottom up and you see a bunch of startups getting funded and reinventing the banking and financial industry. You look left and right, you see Google's, you see Apple, you see Facebook, you see Snapchat coming into the banking system, and then you basically have new players coming up. Also here, like NAC, that is going to acquire Avaloq, as we were saying. Question is, what are you doing? What is your plan? What is your tactic? What is your strategy to transform FutureBack, to create a strategy in order to build a pathway, a product that serves tomorrow target audience? Well, Tommaso, I don't have time to look into the future. Well, guess what? That's exactly what's happening. If you don't have time, if you don't make the time, if you're not sensible enough, if you don't read between the lines of what's going on today, you are not going to allocate the right resources to transform your business. Transforming your business is meaning taking care of three things. First, what are you doing for this new target audience that is born already and has new habits? Second, what kind of products or experiences are you creating, building, and developing for them? And Third, what business models? And the question is not about innovating in the industry of finance. The question is really, how much are you allocating in terms of resources, time and money and commitment and decision into something that is going to transform you? And when I say something, it is about experiments. How much are you allocating to experiment? How many experimentation are you going to run in parallel in order to transform your business? Famous Google is saying you need to allocate 70% on your core business to do incremental, 20% in transformative, and 10% in moonshots. Well, if Google, which core business is innovation, if Google, who is innovating, has a DNA and the culture and processes for innovation, allocates 70% in core business and only 20% in transformative business because of the culture, because of the DNA, because of the nature of being innovative. Well, how much should a company in agriculture allocate? How much should a company in mobility allocate? How much should a company in education allocate? How much should a company in service, and so on? Well, in my book I'm describing, which is called You Don't Know What You Don't Know What You Don't Know. Oh, my friend Rodrigo, I was thinking of you, Rodrigo, today. I want to chat with you. We haven't chatted this year, actually, right? I'm really missing hanging out with you guys in Brazil. I'll be calling you next. So I was talking about if a company in education, in agriculture, right, how much are they needed to allocate to transform their business? If Google is saying 70% core business, 20% in transformative, and their DNA, their blood, the reason why it's innovation, and they allocate only 20%, while all the other industry might need to allocate more. That's the reason why I say in my book, you need to allocate 40 to 45% as a traditional corporation in this industry. And I was just reading about the acquisition of NAC, which buys the Swiss firm Avaloq for 2.2 billion, and getting here also into the financial industry. Now let's switch gears and let's start talking about Cooler Screens, a provider which has built the interactive digital displays to replace the glass doors in stores. And Cooler raised $80 million. The startup has raised overall $100 million in funding. The latest round comes from Verizon Ventures, Microsoft M12 Venture Fund, Great Point Ventures, Silicon Valley Bank, and others. Cooler Screen is led by co-founder and CEO Arsene Avakian, who said that the idea of replacing simple glass doors with electronic display might seem unnecessary or even annoying. It's winning consumer hearts, but it's bringing innovation into retail. Very interesting, especially specifically from a perspective of who is investing, who is backing those companies. You see that the retail industry here is bringing new materials, new devices into the industry of retail. So what does it mean for the retail industry? Last week we read that Amazon, not only with Amazon Go, but Amazon is bringing a new biometric way of you paying. So imagine you go in an Amazon store, right? In the future will be all Whole Foods markets, and you can pay with biometrics. Now you are in front of a whatever screen, whatever mirror, whatever basically window, and you have here a digital touch screen which brings a new experience which might be definitely connected to your device. So this is here a big alert for all big change regarding if consumer change in food and beverage, also traditional retail. Very interesting news. And let's move into the other market, which is tied into the retail market, and let's talk about Grub Market. Grub Market provides a B2C platform for consumers to order produce and other fruit and home items for delivery, and a B2B service where it supplies grocery stores, especially now became big or more requested since starting the COVID crisis. The funding that they raised $60 million in a Series D round, is coming from a managed BlackRock, Reimagined Ventures, Trinity Capital, Celtic House Ventures, Sixth Degree, and others. Very interesting. They were valued at $500 million. Food delivery, investing more and more money in order to make things faster, better, cheaper. What is my view here, and how am I basically conveying what would I like to share today here for this FutureBack episode? Well, you see that the retail industry, the fintech industry, the banking industry, and all three are interconnected. They become altogether more friendly towards consumer, not only on the experience on the retail side, but also on the banking level, and also the experience on the delivery side, right? I envision a future where we don't have to waste our time to go anywhere. Well, we all have multiple options. One will be obviously online e-commerce stores. The other one will be retail goggles, where you have the VRs and ARs that you can wear, and you can basically buy. Everything is interconnected. Again, connected meaning with the banking system, with the payment system. And then last but not least, I see the mobility industry. You heard correctly. The mobility industry partnering with and creating new experiences that actually bring you into neighborhoods. Things that you can shop, so I'm envisioning a retail that comes into your location, and one is providing a pizza, Italian pizza. I had to say it at almost 6 p.m. I'm hungry. One is providing fashion, the other one is providing fresh veggies. So how is the industry of retail interconnected with mobility, interconnected with banking changing? And here I'm making a point on this FutureBack series, where I made it my vision to create some evidence and bring you daily evidences Monday through Friday, and brainstorm with you and say, guys, it's not enough if you say you are just busy, because if you are just busy, this means you are not preoccupied on bringing the future today and working on the future. If you are just busy, you are not allocating enough time, enough money, and enough resources into the so important transformational phase 2, horizon 2. If you are just busy, you are focused primarily on optimizing what you have, and you are not transforming and preoccupied with transforming towards the future, right? The future, all industry as we know them today, will be no longer existing. It's a very bold statement, actually, of mine that I make in my book. And what I mean with that, let me translate it, is that the future, we don't have the ecosystem as we have them today, meaning ecosystem of agriculture, ecosystem of mobility, ecosystem of banking, but all of them, they need to collaborate in order to serve the mankind of the future. In order to serve the mankind in 2050, which is a new generation with new expectation, with new products, we need to collaborate the industry of mobility with banking, with retail, with healthcare, with education. And the common denominator in this collaboration is called data. We will all become sooner or later data provider to each other, and only with the collaboration of each and every single individual industry, we will be maybe capable of serving the mankind of the future. What are you doing in this direction, dear executive? What is your API strategy? How many engineers around data have you hired? How many backend developers? How many API developers? How many data scientists have you developed? We have a couple of banks that statistically in 2018 and 2019, they have hired um, almost 50%, 50% of technical employees. What is your percentage? If you are going to be maybe a tech player, Tommaso, I don't want to be a tech player. I'm in education. I'm in healthcare. I'm in mobility. I'm in. Guess what? That's wrong. You are a tech player that is focused on a niche, and the niche is called either agriculture or education. So you need to restructure your hiring strategy in order to create an execution strategy that follows your vision. In fact, you have to have 3 steps in place: strategy, execution, and talent. More than happy to share with you more on that. This is exactly the methodology that we represent, that we have crafted, we have molded together with hundreds of global corporations from Asia, Europe, United States, and Latin America. Well, enough of today's Future Back. I'd like to thank you for those who watched it live. I'd like to thank you to those who are watching this on demand. We made it our vision to bring you daily evidences that the future is today, bringing you the future today. Now, if you're not sensible, if you're not paying attention, if you don't read between the lines, and you're still just preoccupied and occupied and allocating resources to your core business, c'est la vie, that's it. And with that, I would like to thank you. I'll see you tomorrow, more or less same time, same place. Today I did it in the afternoon to see how the audience engaged. When I'll bring you more news, more future back news, more future perspective news, where I bring them to you today and create more awareness that the future is not tomorrow. The future is today. It's about you creating your task and executing towards these tasks today, because if you don't do so, your business will be not transformed, your business is not reinventing, and statistics show that you won't make the curve to be a player tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining. Ciao, I'll see you tomorrow. Hasta la próxima. A gente se vê amanhã. Wir sehen uns morgen. Até la próxima. Bye. And that's it.